Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Tech back in the video today. And today I'm going to be talking about why I believe the Baltimore Ravens will win the Super Bowl. Yes, I believe the Baltimore Ravens are a lock to win the Super Bowl this year. Sure, this may not be a surprise. The Ravens, who have the favorite, maybe you can even say the lock for MVP, and Lamar Jackson, was already the favorite, if not a top two favorite, the last couple weeks until he goes up against the two other quarterbacks who have been the favorites for MVP, and Brock Purdy and Tua Tagovailoa in the last 2 weeks absolutely outplayed both quarterbacks, and his team crushed both teams as well, allowing both teams to 19 points. And both quarterbacks struggled. Both quarterbacks threw multiple picks. Tua Tagovailoa threw two interceptions, and Brock Purdy threw four. Lamar Jackson, who threw 0 interceptions in those games, and I'm pretty sure Lamar Jackson threw 7 or 8 touchdown passes it was 6 or 7 touchdown passes in those 2 games. And he's been dominant this season. The Ravens are 13-3. They just clinched the 1 seed. But, why do I think that they are a lock to win the Super Bowl? And here's one thing. The Baltimore Ravens defense has been absolute dominant against teams that are that are at 500 or over 500 this season. First, one thing I want to bring up is that the Ravens have definitely had one of the hardest schedules all year. They've played 16 games this season, and 13 out of their 16 games have been against teams that have a record of 500 or better. Only 3 matchups not facing a team that has a 500 record or better this season. So that's crazy. And in those 13 games against the teams that have a record of 500 or better, they are only allowing 16 points per game. And also, they've held the Detroit Lions, who are 11-5 and have been one of the best offenses this season. A top 5 offense this season, with one of the best offensive coordinators in football. Held the Lions only 6 points. They only held the Jacksonville Jaguars to 7 points. Keep in mind they had Trevor Lawrence. They only held the Browns to 3 points before Joe Flacco, though. Only led the Seahawks to 3 points, and they are 10-3 when facing teams with a 500 record or more. And when the season is done, 14 out of 18 of their matchups will be against teams that have a record of 500 or better, going up against the Steelers this next week, who are 9-7. So that's another team with a record of over 500. Lamar Jackson is playing excellent football. He is been the best quarterback this season. I think he's the best quarterback in the NFL right now. He has truly had, I wouldn't go as far to say the best weapons of his career. I actually would. Because sure, Lamar was great when he won the MVP in his second year, which was the 2019 season, I believe. Yeah, the 2019 season he won the MVP. They were the 1 seed, lost the Tennessee Titans in the divisional round. But I'm not saying Lamar, all he did was run the football in 2019, but that's where he was dominant. And sure, they did a lot. Lamar made a lot of great passes. He had Hollywood Brown, he had Mark Andrews. They were great. But I think with wide receivers, I think this is the best wide receiver group he's had in his career. Rashad Bateman has found himself to be healthy, which he has not really been. And before that, in his first 2 years before this, going into his 3rd season, Zay Flowers has been an outstanding rookie. Odell Beckham Jr. has been great for them as well. And also, I know Mark Andrews is out for the season, but Isaiah Likely has been great for them as well. 2 touchdowns today. He's been great as a replacement. I don't think you could have found a better replacement for Mark Andrews. And Also their running back play has not been bad. Gus Edwards hasn't been bad. Justice Hill is their running backs have been really solid this season. So all around roster, all around offense, all around defense, I think they have one of the best talented teams in the NFL. I mean, there are teams that have more talented teams in them, but I think they are the team that can go out there and play with anybody and beat anybody and destroy anybody. And honestly, I don't know if anybody can beat them in the playoffs. I really don't. They're gonna get the bye. Who are they gonna who's it likely that they're gonna play in the divisional round? Now, we don't know who's gonna be the 7th seed. Really don't even know who's gonna be the 6th seed yet. So who knows who they will play in the divisional round? But I mean, out of the teams that we know that will be in the playoffs, the Dolphins, they just beat 56-19. I know they can beat them, and I think if the playoff matchup comes, I think the Ravens are going to beat the Dolphins. I'm not going to say it's going to be a blowout, but they're going to beat the Dolphins. The Bills, they're in, which they should be. They should be in the playoffs. I think they already clinched, but if they're in the playoffs, which they should be, I think the Ravens would beat the Bills as well. You have the other teams in the AFC, the Chiefs. Even though it's playoff Mahomes, I still think the Ravens are beating the Chiefs. The Jacksonville Jaguars, they already beat them by 16. I think they'd beat them again in the playoffs. Even this team's not in the playoffs right now, but as a Texans fan, I think they'd beat us. I don't think there's anybody in the AFC. The Cleveland Browns. I think that really, I'll be honest. I think the Cleveland Browns are the only team that pose a threat to the Baltimore Ravens in the AFC. I really do believe that the Cleveland Browns are the only team that hold a threat to Baltimore. And the NFC, yes, I see some threats. Dallas, San Francisco. Those are the only. I think there's only 3 teams that are a threat to Baltimore in the playoffs. Only one in the AFC with Joe Flacco and the Browns, and that defense. That's a defense that is dominant as well. How do you stop a dominant defense? Match another dominant defense with that, and a good offense that the Cleveland Browns do have as well. I think the Cleveland Browns are a team that I really could see beating the Baltimore Ravens in the playoffs. So that's the one team I could see beating the Ravens in the AFC. I could see the 49ers, even though they just took them down, I could see the 49ers getting lucky and taking them down on a rematch. And I could also see the Cowboys taking them down as well if Dak is playing his best football. I've heard a couple Cowboys fans call Dak Dakisha when Dak is not playing his best football. So hopefully Dakisha doesn't show up if the Cowboys want to beat the Ravens. And we all know Dak has not looked the brightest in the playoffs. So if Dak's playing his best football, I think the Cowboys are a threat to the Ravens. The Eagles, I don't know. It depends. Are we going to get the Eagles that just lost to the Cardinals, just gave up 35 points to the Cardinals? I don't know. But I don't really, right now, I really don't think the Eagles are much of a threat to the Ravens. And I don't think the Lions are a threat to the Ravens either. Like I said, I think there are 3 teams in the NFL that are a threat to the Ravens in the playoffs: the Browns, the Cowboys, and the 49ers. Besides that, I think the Ravens can get by anybody easily. I think the only team that in the playoffs that can maybe give them some trouble are the Dolphins. And I ultimately think Lamar Jackson wins his first Super Bowl this season, wins Super Bowl MVP, wins MVP as well. I mean, it's about time for Lamar, though, if they do win the Super Bowl. He deserves that. He deserves to win the Super Bowl. I really do. He's been a talented quarterback. He's had some injury problems the last couple of years. He's had a not great receiver core, but this is the best receiver core he's had in his career. So I think that this is the best year for Lamar to win a Super Bowl, especially a year where Joe Burrow is Joe Burrow's gone. He's not there as a threat. You won your division, so you have the home field advantage as well. So I really think this is the Ravens' year. I'm not going to say there won't be another chance, because there will be another chance, but I think this is their year to win the Super Bowl. I really do, with how dominant their defense has been against good teams, teams that are over 500, and how great Lamar Jackson has been this season. This is their year. That's the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts on the game. Let me know your thoughts on the Ravens potentially winning the Super Bowl in 2024. And also, speaking of 2024, Happy New Year, everybody. I'm so excited to get this new year started. Not only the new year, but, 2024 with my channel. It's going to be a good year with some great content, and excited for the journey, and can't wait to get it going. This is the video. Hope you guys enjoy them, thoughts, and peace out.